Hi everyone, welcome. It's Jarv here from Medieval Mirage. I'm just doing a voiceover only because I haven't got any software editing program for my videos. And so I've pre-recorded these a while ago and I'm just trying to add them together and record them again on my computer screen. So that's why if you see a few little pauses or what have you, you know I'm just trying to connect the videos together and what have you. But anyway, this video is all about coffee stamping, what I call my coffee stamping technique. That's how I work. When I'm dealing with coffee, I just try to use different methods to create different textures for your mixed media projects or your junk journal pages. So what I'm doing here, I thought I would show you the results first and then I would skip over to the actual process so that you can get a feel for what they're going to look like. And if this appeals to you, then keep watching the video and bear with me as I try to connect the videos together. And I do have a couple of parts of the method, so I'll be adding a few more videos onto this one and the next one to come. Anyway, welcome everyone. It's great to have your company. Thank you so much for coming to my show and share. So let's get started with this preview of the results first and then the tutorial. Thank you everyone. I hope you enjoy. Again, our coffee is stamping. Well, my coffee stamping I should say, but we did it together. So this is where your coffee is pooling in your coffee brew is pooling in your tray, and it's been there most likely a day or so, depending on how quickly the liquid evaporates, and it leaves behind a bit of a sticky residue, as it did with me, because its only purpose is for coffee staining my papers. But I showed you how with a bit of vanilla and rose water, so vanilla essence or imitation vanilla and a bit of rose water and a bit of, tap water, you can just activate it a bit, and then because it's so sticky, you can put your papers in there and create a stamp. And that's how I showed you how to get these effects, which are pretty impressive. Well, they are to me. If you love grunge, this is how grungy you can get. So just remember, sticky coffee that's just waiting to be, used up, put in the dishwasher or wherever you wash your things. You can get some pretty amazing effects. I mean, that's pretty awesome there. So yeah, love doing that. That's one of my favorite ways of just adding extra interest. And this was, as we were using it up, it became a bit more faded. But yeah, without really trying, you're getting some fascinating results anyway, and I get really excited with that. Yeah, my husband and I were joking. We was just saying, oh, you should call yourself the coffee staining guru, just as a joke, only because it's just one of my passions. I love experimenting with coffee. I even blend coffee with tea at times, dark tea. I love just the interplay and the amazing things that you can do, such as my boho. Hi everyone, it's Jarv here from Medieval Mirage. I do want to ask please that you excuse my grubby fingers. I've been doing a bit of artwork today, and I unfortunately, I'll just see how we're going with our camera there. I unfortunately forgot to get my camera, which I always do. I've been also doing gessoing work, and I was thinking, oh my goodness, I've got to put the camera on for my tutorial. So I'm really sorry that basically I've kind of finished this off, but I wanted to show you some of these effects. If these are the effects that interest you, I'm just going to get some paper towel behind here because I need to rest it down so I can show you what I've been doing. So I've stopped myself from doing anything further. If this is, let me just, sorry about that everyone, sorry. Just trying to get this adjusted for you. If this is the kind of coffee staining effects that you're after, I want to show you my secret, okay? So I'm just going to put that aside now. Now, you will see this horrible gunk in the corner there. All right, please excuse it, but this is where the magic happens. All right, so I always have this tray with, this is what I do my coffee staining in. Like, so sometimes I'll dip them in, and it's always available, so I'll change it every couple of days or 3 days. I do put vanilla essence in there and sometimes some rose water, because, you know, as coffee gets older, it doesn't have a nice smell to it. But what I wanted to explain is we are in winter. Even though the heater is on, this isn't near the heater. But what eventually happens, when I've used up the tray, there'll always be a little bit of pooling. And because it's my coffee staining tray or coffee dyeing tray, I don't care, because I'll just wash it out when I'm ready. But what I have noticed is, and this is what I'm calling, so this here, I'm calling my coffee stamping technique. Okay, so that's coffee stamping, and I'll show you what I mean. So it's been pooling there. Now, it was actually even more gummy. It was very, very thick, and it was just around here. It was just sitting there because of the way it was placed on my table, my temporary grungy table. It was sitting, pooling in this corner, and of course I thought, oh, it's time for me to, you know, give it a clean, and because I need to do it for another project. So what I have done in the past, sometimes I will just go in there and just stick in my paper and just press it down just to see the effect, but it is very, very sticky. But you can use your paper towel to smooth it out in the direction that you would like it to go. So that's one way of doing it. The other way, and this is what you're seeing right now, is I put a bit of water in there, a bit of warm water, just a little bit, and that the reason why it's looking that way is because I just put my my papers in those corners. That's what you can see there. All right, so I'll do that with you so you can see what I mean. So what I'm just using, because this was on hand, is some watercolor paper. Just very cheap watercolor paper, or reasonably priced anyway. So all I do is I use my little whatever you call these, paper towels, and I just place it onto that. So this is why I'm calling it my coffee stamping. So whatever is left over is leaving a bit of an effect on here. But now if we pull this off, look at that. Isn't that magnificent? For those of you that love grunge like me, that's grunge. I laugh sometimes when people say, oh yeah, this is grungy paper. I'm going, you haven't seen grunge when you see what I do. So that, I absolutely love that. I just love that. Now I'm going to go in again, because look, there's so much left over. So just remember that, guys. If you do coffee staining, if you do want to do this, so say you've got a bit of coffee staining to do, but then you want to leave a bit of residue. Make sure you leave, a bit of residue, because you want it to start sticking. So there you go. That's my coffee stamping technique. And we'll continue to just use up what's there, because it is very sticky coffee, but I've watered it down a bit. Oops. So there you go. So I'm going to leave them. I'll just once again just put them there. I'm sorry, I hope this has not been out of focus. I haven't really thought about filming this, but I just remembered last minute. But so there's that. And I was going to say, so I was saying something, wasn't I? I can't remember what I was saying. Oh yeah. So when you're doing this and you do want to go leave that residue, I do recommend that you put a bit of vanilla essence or vanilla imitation. Where's mine? Just hang on a minute. Okay, all I use is vanilla imitation. This is so reasonably priced, and it's a beautiful smell. It will, you can actually use this. All right, so say you've sorry about me kicking the tripod. Say you've got that little bit of residue. Can you please bear with me again? Thank you, everyone. I'm so sorry about that. Okay. As I said, I hadn't sort of planned to do this one, but because I keep forgetting to, you know, have the camera on. So that's my imitation vanilla. So you can use that if it's starting to feel a bit smelly, or rose water. This is just natural rose water, and you can add a bit of that. Just to give it a nice scent. If it's a bit too, I don't know, what's the word I'm thinking of. And then you can just really go heavy-handed so that you can collect what's there. Okay, and then we lift it up, and there's another effect. So you can get pretty groovy effects by just using your leftovers. And that's what I call my coffee stamping, because you're using very sticky coffee. And of course all my brews, so there you go, all my brews that I make are very, very thick, and that's why they become quite sticky, and they kind of pool in a sticky mess in the corner there. But you can get tremendous effects, everyone. So think about it. So that bit of pooling in the corner there can be just what you need to add a bit of interest to your papers. Now I'm just using this paper because it was on hand, but you know, you can use whatever paper you've got to do this. So just normal refill printing, you know, your coffee printer and I don't know, I've got coffee on the brain here. But any paper will do the trick. This was just available to me, so you don't need to have what do you call it? You don't need to have what am I saying? You don't need to have watercolor paper at all, because watercolor paper will give it a different effect to something else, say. Anyway, that's my coffee staining, everyone. I'll just pull off the tray so that you can see how this is the tray that I'm using, and how I've just been using what was left in the corner there. Anyway, everyone, thank you so much for your company. Please do subscribe if you're new here. These are the type of techniques I'm sharing with everyone, and to all my subscribers, thank you. Take care. Hi, everyone. Hi, it's Jav here. Just a quick thought before I put my camera away. So I've been showing you how I get my coffee stamping. Well, I wanted to show you the tray that the stage that it's starting to get at. Okay, so the tray has now, I've used up whatever I needed for my projects, but you can see where it's sitting that it's starting to pool, and you can see here that the liquid is evaporating in the warm room. Now it's still, oops, when I move it, it's very gluggy. Okay, so by tomorrow it might even be ready for some coffee stamping that I showed you. So that's what I mean by the residue of the coffee that you haven't used up. It's just sitting there doing nothing because you've forgotten it or got other things on, and so it's just sitting there idle. This is when you can activate it. So rather than it, just wait until you can't move it, like it's really kind of become really sticky and gluggy. Well, not gluggy, but sticky anyway. Because then you can just add a little bit of water and, as I said, vanilla imitation essence or a bit of rose water just to give it a nice smell, and then proceed to press your papers in and see what incredible grungy results you can get from that. And just keep doing it. If it's too sticky, just add a bit more water, but just a little bit at a time to activate it, and you'll get kind of results like that. Alright everyone, thank you so much for your company. Excuse my grotty art area, but it's all about art, and art requires a lot of, I don't know, grottiness, I guess. I don't know, your hands get grotty, everything's get grotty. Anyway, take care everyone. Thank you so much for coming to my show and share. I'll just finish off by giving you guys a wave, and thank you. All the best now. Bye.